The design stage sounds like it will be so much fun. I did not think about producing more than one design, but it makes perfect sense to do that. For example, I could stay dry in the rain by using an umbrella, or by wearing a coat with a hood. Each of those has advantages and disadvantages.
Yes, that's true. That is what Mr. C means when he says that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Oh, what an awful thought. But the idea, I guess, is to have different options from which to choose, and if I'm making my product for somebody else, they will like the chance to choose the design they like the best.
Also, by looking back at your design specifications, you will easily be able to see which of your designs solves the problem most effectively. A hooded coat, for example, may be difficult and messy to tuck into a small carry bag when it is soaking wet from the rain.
Yes, I understand now. Once I have decided which design I will make, I can start to plan. For this, I need to think about what materials I will use, and where to get them. I can also write out the steps I must follow to make my product, by looking at my design.
That's right. Remember that you must also plan the tools you need and consider how long your product will take to make. Time is critical because you have a deadline by which the product must be completed. It always takes longer than you think because you will encounter some problems and you will also need to learn some new techniques if the project involves doing something new. Come on. Mr. C is always saying that the clock goes tick-tock and never stops to take stock.
I know. Mr. C has an annoying habit of saying, "Don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions." With all my knowledge of the design cycle, and with my motivation, I'm sure that I will complete a top-rate project.
Not so fast. There are 2 more stages to go. You must create the product yet, and there is quite a lot to think about still. Are you ready for the next stage?
Yes, I am. Hit me with the create stage. Be gentle. So, it's not quite as straightforward as just making the product. The create process is quite involved. The process journal sounds like a lot of writing. Why can't I just make my product?
Well, at first it may seem pointless. But keeping a process journal will help you enormously. Firstly, there will be so many things going on. You will probably have several jobs going on at the same time, and it is critical that you keep a record of where you are at. It is helpful to remember the steps you followed to complete tasks, so pictures, screenshots, or even video is useful in case you have to reconstruct part of your project quickly or to show someone else how to follow your steps to create the same product later on. Secondly, you may need to make changes to your plan and design to overcome unforeseen problems. It is critical to journal these changes as they happen to help you justify the changes you make.
Yes. I see that now. If done correctly, I would have a record of how my time was spent, and how I used the tools, materials, and techniques while making my product. This would be useful when Mr. C asks me to demonstrate how I created each step of the plan, or to justify why my product looks different to the original design.
That's right. And if you keep your process journal open while creating, it is very easy to get into the good habit of journaling as you go along. I hardly notice that I journal now because it is automatic for me to write events down and collect evidence of my activity and problems I experience. To be honest, it helps me a lot, and I would never consider not keeping a journal for a complex project like yours.
Okay. I get it. Well, we are almost done. The evaluation stage is the last step. Please, tell me how to do an evaluation. Oops. Excuse me. Was the camera rolling?
No. You're good. No one will hear that.
So all I need to do once I have completed my product is to test it. Then I'm done. Right?
Well, yes. You must evaluate the product by first testing it. Do you remember the design specifications from the investigation stage?
Yes. the list of functions that my product must satisfy to successfully solve the original problem. I remember.
Good. Once you are sure that the product meets those specifications, you are ready to demonstrate it to the users who will use it. They will give you feedback about how well your product solves the problem, and you will begin to observe what impact the product has in the environment it is used. This is the trickiest part of your evaluation because people can be very critical. Factors outside of your control, such as the environment, may cause your product to fail.
Yes, of course. I suppose they are the people paying for the product, my time and my effort. I should be nice to these guys. Mr. C has another infuriating saying: the customer is always right, even if they are wrong, and that it's not over until it's all over. It's all falling into place now.
Yep. But you're not done yet. You must also evaluate your own performance during each stage of the design cycle. First the investigation, then the design and plan, and finally during the create stage. Ask yourself how well you did. Ask yourself what you could have done better. Once you have done this, you can start all over to make a newer, better version of your product and also to improve your performance in your next project.
What do you mean? Do it all over again? Have you gone completely crazy?
No. Didn't you wonder why it was called the design cycle? It's like a wheel. It goes round and round and gets better each time. Remember, practice makes perfect.
You are being serious, I suppose. But it all makes sense. If we didn't use the design cycle, then we would be stuck with the same old products, even if they were no good. Our cars would never get modernized, and we as a robot species would not progress. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain the design cycle to me. You have been a tremendous help.
It's my pleasure. Anytime. Best of luck, and I am sure you will do brilliantly in your next project.